Matt Getz confirmed today that the government was running several assets in the crowds during the January 6, 2021 protests in Washington, D.C. Dozens, if not hundreds, of government operatives filled the protests at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. The Gateway pundit previously identified 20 different confirmed incidents and operations involving federal, state, and local government operatives who infiltrated the massive Trump crowds. Each one of these incidents has been confirmed by the far-left press or the government in court documents. We currently have no idea how many federal, state, and local government operatives were working undercover on January 6th, but it looks like it's close to 100 operatives. I bet you it's way more. Leading the charge on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Recent court documents reveal the Biden Department of Justice admitting to at least 40 undercover operatives within the Proud Boys alone. So the Department of the DOJ had 40 inside the Proud Boys on January 6th. The U.S. government finally admitted in this letter they sent out before the trial that they were running confidential human resources. They called them CHSs. Those are people working for the feds. They call them CHSs inside the Oath Keepers organization. In November of 2022, the FBI finally admitted that they had 8 informants inside the Proud Boys organization on January 6th, and likely more. So the FBI had 8, the DOJ had 40. The FBI had as many as 8 informants inside the Proud Boys in the months around the January 6th Capitol attack. Recent court papers indicate raising questions about how much federal investigators were able to learn from them before and after it took place. So you know that the feds knew that January 6th was going to happen. And so now you know, well, why didn't they do anything to try to stop it? Because they were egging it on and pushing it on because they wanted this to happen.
Yeah, because what would be the long-term consequence of that?
The long-term consequence, that is, you can disqualify Donald Trump from being president again because you can disqualify his whole political organization, his whole political movement as terrorists. And that's what they did. The Department of Justice, and remember, if it wasn't Donald Trump, if Bernie Sanders actually had the sack to go ahead and grab power, they'd be doing this to Bernie Sanders and Bernie Sanders supporters. The Department of Justice admitted to 40 government CSA Proud Boys. Okay. Shocked, the Department of Justice now admits that another 40 undercover agents were with the Proud Boys. The vast majority of the group was paid by the government as either W-2 employees or as CHSs. And here, at least 2 law enforcement agencies, each outnumbered the FBI in terms of running undercover agents, informants, and CHSs on January 6th. First, the D.C. Metro Police had 13 undercover plainclothes agents among the Proud Boys and other parts. So they had 13. The FBI is admitting to 9. The Department of Justice says 40. There appears to have been 19 CHSs on January 6th belonging to the agency called HIS, so Homeland Security Investigation. So that's even more. Wow. When added to the 8 FBIs, but this means that there were at least 40 undercover informants or agents doing surveillance among them on Thursday, March. Okay, so there you go. And the number keeps growing to 50 or more that they are admitting to. Breaking, another doozy of a motion filed today by the Proud Boys defense lawyer related to informants, undercover agents. The number of D.C. Metro undercover agents keeps growing. So let's see. Where's the number? Let me get it up. And just the last weekend, the defense learned that there was at least 10 to 12 additional previously unknown plainclothes Metropolitan Police Department officers among the Proud Boys. This brings the total number of informants among defendants on or around January 6th to 6 or 50 or more. And there's great reason to believe that number is higher. And now this, Washington, D.C. FBI field office confirmed on Thursday that undercover officers, confidential informants, and FBI assets were present, despite the FBI director, Wray, testifying that there weren't. So that guy should be in prison. And so Michael Schellenberg, who done a lot of reporting, and he says this. Indeed, there may have been hundreds of undercover government agents and informants, both local and federal, in the January 6th crowd. According to one January 6th witness, there were 100 to 200 Secret Service agents alone at the Capitol before and during the breach of the police barriers. So no one has even mentioned the Secret Service yet. It wouldn't surprise me if there were 1,000 feds in that goddamn. And by the way, they won't release the video, right? So this is a FBI whistleblower testifying under oath that FBI won't allow 11,000 hours of January 6 footage to be released because it would expose undercover agents committing crimes inside the Capitol. Not only was January 6 a Fed setup, but now it's confirmed that the FBI is also covering its tracks. So just as we've been reporting all along, January 6 was a Fed operation, and now they're covering their tracks. And listen to what this guy says.
Those individuals were inside the Capitol, to which the SSA responded back. And I was privy to these conversations firsthand. Why can't you show us? Why can't you just send us give us access to the 11,000 hours of video that's available? Because there may be UC's undercover officers or CHS's confidential human sources on those videos whose identity we need to protect.
So, Mr. Allen, you got retaliated.
So that's why. Because they don't want you to see the feds inside the Capitol doing illegal stuff. And they tried to ask the FBI before. Ted Cruz tried to ask the FBI, how many feds did you have in the crowd January 6th? And this was the answers he got.
How many FBI agents or confidential informants actively participated in the events of January 6th?
Sir, I'm sure you can appreciate that I can't go into the specifics of sources and methods.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants actively participate in the events of January 6th? Yes or no?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants commit crimes of violence on January 6th?
I can't answer that, sir.
Did any FBI agents or FBI informants actively encourage and incite crimes of violence on January 6th?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Ms. Sadburn, who is Ray Epps?
So now you know why she can't answer any of those questions. Because if she told the truth, they'd find out that that January 6th was an FBI psyop, and they had a couple of hundred of feds doing this psyop on January 6th. That's why she can't tell you the truth. And now he's going to ask you, who is Ray Epps? And she's going to pretend like she doesn't know.